This is the brand new Tesla Model Y Performance. Barely 3 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour, 460 brake horsepower, all-wheel drive, 550 Newton meters of torque, and easily over 400 kilometers of range. And it will pin you to the back of your seat like you have never, ever experienced before in a normal car. Launch it. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You've got to get real down and dirty to the lower part of the car to see any key changes. There's black high gloss here, also in the lower splitter on the car. They're the main changes over the nose. So it wouldn't be unfair to say the changes in the front are really, really subtle. There's also some black high gloss mirrors, not carbon fiber, however. The budget doesn't stretch to them on the mirrors.
The new Model Y Performance has a stiffer body, larger brake discs, although you do also get the same size discs on the Model Y Long Range, huge red calipers, and these Model Y Performance wheels are wrapped in some very expensive rubber.
Generally at Tesla, they do things their own way. It might make sense to give me the red car with the white interior with some center caps on the alloys, but no, that wasn't part of the plan today for whatever reason. Never change, Tesla, never change.
It also has 10% less drag than the previous Model Y Performance and 64% less lift, which means it should be more planted.
There is also a performance badge on the back of the car, and the rear lower diffuser is slightly different. There's a bit of black high gloss down the very, very bottom, but you still have this pretty ugly looking lump of plastic this way, and there's a carbon fiber boot spoiler with this recessed Tesla logo that lights up very nicely in red at night time. Sorry, you're what? You're looking for help to show your missus that it's a practical car. Gotcha. It's a very practical car, this Model Y Performance. It has a very functional boot that can take absolutely anything. Dogs, prams, children, shopping, suitcases, everything. Nothing to see here. It's fine. Hope that helped. Actually, sorry, how remiss of me. There's also a very usable frunk at the front of the car. You can put your overnight suitcase in there and it'll help the family get away much better than the car you have now. You've got a slightly larger screen, a QHED in this. It's 16 inches. The resolution is slightly better. Think of it like when Apple made those fancier resolution screens on the iPad a few years ago. Dual wireless charging. There's now some carbon fiber inserts over the top of the dashboard and in the inside of the doors, and the intergalactic speed on the top of the seat as well, which also now are adjustable and you can bolster yourself in tighter than ever before. And there's also the UV filtered glass, which all comes as standard.
For just over €67,000, you'll get a Model Y Performance, loads of room in the back for the kids, even a screen that they can hook up their headphones to, so you can enjoy driving in peace. You get metal pedals on the Performance model. Ooh, lovely. 21-inch Arachnid alloys come as standard. Mind you don't curb them.
Stability control is something you can kind of tweak, not fully turn off if you're a decent driver. I'd use that with a lot of caution, especially if you go into insane acceleration mode. It's just very, very fast. You can also firm up the steering, and in the Performance version you have standard or sport in the suspension settings. It makes it firmer. It's kind of firm to begin with. Sport is extremely firm. First thing you notice is the grip, and it truly pins you to the back of the seat. Little bit of twitching out of the rear axle when the traction isn't quite sure what it's going to do with all that power and the road. Oh my God, like it can actually be sore. You got the regen, so I'm not touching the brake at all. This thing is absolutely nailing the corners, nailing them. Still no brake, power, power, power. Jesus Christ. I actually would like the brake pedal, not that you have to use that often. I just love it to not necessarily have more bite, just to do more stuff at the top end of the pedal. You've really got a stamp on it. It's just like nothing I've ever really experienced before. I have not been giving this car an easy life, and it has done 22.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Can you get better in it? I have absolutely no doubt that you can. It's just you need to get over the novelty factor of how quick this thing is and then use it like a normal person. Insane mode, you just launch it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, at least I'm in control. If you were a passenger in this car, you would be wondering what the hell is going on. Now, the steering is very sharp, it's very pointed. However, you're sitting quite high in the seat, and I noticed that in the last normal Model Y. And when you're trying to do silly speeds and you're sitting like you're up high, it just doesn't feel right. Your body feels slightly uncomfortable compared to if you were planted in a Roadster or even the Model 3 Performance. Still on the firmer side, much firmer than the regular Model Y. But at any given moment, you could just fling it into a corner, power out of said corner, and just have an awful lot of fun. And actually, if you take it easy, then even rumble strips are kind of impacting into the car. You're sort of 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is okay for all this power. Roundabout. Whoa. This is only really there just at the very end of roundabout. When you're accelerating, you'll feel the weight of the car just kind of trying to get you straight. If you come over a series of crests or whatever, a couple of bumps in the road at high speed, the traction will cut the power just while it figures out what the hell you're trying to do. But then it can do the normal stuff, like it's very quiet, you've got insulated glass all round. I think you'd easily see 18, 19 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers if you don't drive it like a lunatic. One of the most ridiculously quick cars I've ever driven. It's because you have that instant torque under your foot as well. It's just... whew, yeah. But you'll get an awful lot more range out of a standard Model Y and indeed the long range Model Y. Could be at nearly 200 extra kilometers per charge. Now, you've got to put some good tires and keep good tires on these types of cars. And I do wonder how long the tires will last. It is not often you're in an electric car and you're genuinely smiling all the time. The big trade-off on the performance versus the normal new Model Y, if you haven't tested that as well, it's so comfortable. It is a very refined car, particularly comparing to what went before it. And just some of those quirks are coming back into this performance version of it purely because it's got bigger wheels, they're actually wider at the back of the car, and it has to deal with more power, and it's got a firmer suspension to deal with that. So if you want comfort, just get a normal Model Y. If you want this can embarrass a supercar, albeit, maybe from the lights and all that kind of stuff, then this is it. It does look a little bit sharper, and I'm a car head, so I can totally see why you'd want a performance version of the Model Y. I'm not sure if you need it. But who cares about needs sometimes? Sometimes it's just about wants and desires. And that, like, that's not me messing. That is the power. It's just like... If you already have a last Model Y Performance, will this car feel much faster? Not necessarily. Is it slightly better on the suspension? Absolutely. But driving the normal version of the new Model Y versus this, you kind of feel the suspension is halfway gone back to the old model, because the standard car is so good now in terms of comfort, and on a good road it really is as good as anything. Yes, this does look nicer. It's got the sharper looking wheels, the red calipers, slightly tweaked interior, but to be honest with you, unless you really want to spend that extra cash, the new Model Y in standard or long range battery versions is actually really good now. There'll always be people who want a Golf GTI over a regular Golf. You could kind of compare it in the same scenario as this. However, for the money, I will say the performance is absolutely ludicrous. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Put on the Tesla hate and load it down there as well if you like. But either way, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching the ads. You're helping support what is a fully independent YouTube channel, so I do really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Man, it's windy.